everybody? Dadman Walking 55 here with you live, coming on, pretty much on time. Yay! We made the polar bears happy, I'm sure, tonight. But hey, well, welcome to our next to last Buck Rogers in the 25th Century episodic review and commiserating and who knows what is. Is it going to be a good week? Is it going to be a bad week? We do not know yet. But we have this illustrious all-star panel tonight coming with you with their golden voices and wonderful wisdom that they have here. First of all, let me bring in the great, the glorious, and the kitty cat of kitty cats, the great Daisy Blossom. Hello, Daisy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
I'm sorry, I was trying to look for Twitter for some reason. It's
Yep,
not
I'm
working for me, but hey.
nope. I actually got to get the tweet out, the go live tweet too, while I'll
Oh,
be
I'm
doing that
sorry.
while
I
y'all are
mean
talking.
Twitch.
Twitch. Oh, I don't know. We call it. I don't know. We call it all kinds of different things. Twix, X, uh, frustrating. Hey, at least it's not doing that thing it used to do with us. Uh, you remember that time last year when it was limiting how many times I could text, and it was like, dang it, I want to talk to my friends, and they're like, nope, you used up your quota.
Yeah, that's Twitter. Twitter can be very difficult. I'm
Well,
just
no,
trying to get your stream up on Twitch and I don't seem to be able to find you, but I will keep looking. You must be here somewhere.
I will. I will. Well, I will do it. While you guys start talking in a second, then I will do it. Let's go ahead and bring in talk about trouble. This guy is nothing but trouble. He is the court jester himself. He's hungry. Hey, hungry maker, Mr. Antipodean.
And you said it right once again. That makes me so happy. But
Oh, good.
yes,
I'm glad some make somebody happy. I did so.
there's going to be some trouble tonight. I think we're going to have some disagreements, but they're going to be entertaining, and I'm very much looking forward to Daisy's and JT's comments about the episodes we have tonight. But Daisy has to admit. It's a lot better than the Seven Dwarves episode and a lot better than the Blue Cree Dwarf episode.
I thought you were going to say the.
Correct.
I thought you were going to say the Blues Brothers episode. I'm like, where did that come into?
I like that movie. Only
I
for
know.
Carrie Fisher. But
Uh,
she was great in that movie. She was going to blow the Blues Boys up. That was great. Another show for another time. But more
that
from Daisy or introduce JT. Let's keep going.
We were talking. Daisy and I were talking about new movies and stuff to do in the future and stuff, and Blues Brothers could be one of those.
It's a good choice. Just
Yeah.
not the sequel from 2000.
Oh, that is that even really a movie?
Yes,
Can,
sadly it is.
well, can we
Don't
really
ask.
call it Blues Brothers? It's kind of
No, we
like
can't.
it's kind
No.
of like the
No.
Ghostbusters 2016. That is
No.
not really a Ghostbusters. So,
It's worse than 2016. Honestly, it's worse.
I will say I will agree with that. I you had hopes for John Goodman in it, but anyway. Well, sorry. We can save that because folks, we are going to have
Yeah.
a surprise doubleheader tonight. After we're done here, we're going to have a random late night squirrel and see who shows up with that. So join us an all night party for us here. We will go around the clock, I think. Anyway, but hey, let's not delay the admiral himself, or
Yay!
captain. I'm sorry, he was admiral one day to get that high increase in pay for his retirement benefits. But it's the great Captain J.T. Kirk. Hello.
Hell, good evening.
Hell,
Am I there?
How are you? You are
I don't
here.
see myself on the YouTubes. So
Oh
there
no,
I
we
am.
can see
there
you.
we go.
We can
there
hear
we
you.
Go.
And you
There we
sound
go.
fantastic, sir. You sound
Why, thank you,
fantastic.
good sir. I was practicing before the show, warming up my voice. I was saying, "Get me train.
Yeah.
Get me train." It's a joke. We'll get into it later, folks, but
Yeah.
it'll make sense later. So yes. Anyway, but yeah, no, I did a long stream last night talking about Fake Trek with a certain Mr. Teague, and gosh, we went for like 4 hours talking about that episode, and well, that was probably 3 hours and 59 more minutes than it deserved. But hey, what are you going to do, right? We're here to talk about Buck Rogers tonight, which is a show that you don't have to break both my arms and legs to get me to watch it. So,
well, there you go. There you go. Well, we will see how this it goes tonight. We are back to now 6:29. Well, we actually got one more. We are back to 6:30. We're playing the tennis match of this YouTube, and maybe we'll get to 700 one day. So, but hey, we're at 6:30 right now. Thank you everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe. Get the word out, share the stream out with everybody else, bring them in here. And we have 123 followers on Twitch. We're also on the Twitch side, so make sure you follow us over there, get the notifications on both sides, and also make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dadman Walking. You see, spelled just like that. If it's not, if there's no G, it ain't me. Remember that, folks. So yeah, I had somebody tag me or trying to get to tag me on something, and they had gotten to that other account. So yes, there are fakes. Golly, that's a badge of honor. But let's go ahead and talk to our chat. Talk about badge of honor. This chat, these people that come in all the time, you guys make this wonderful. Wouldn't be here without you guys, and y'all definitely help us have some better shows. And hell to the Comic Relief Crusader. He's on his way to the Calgary Comic Convention tomorrow. All right. That sounds cool. Yes,
cool.
And Putin's cat, welcome into you. Hello, humans and other critters from the great Snortopoopas Q Burr, the polar bear from Florida.
Hey, Snorty. Have a cool on us.
Exactly. And his let's see, the sister bird took him to dinner tonight. Now he's stuffed and sleepy. So, and he just tipped over. So just rest well. It's okay. I had a nap before the show. Okay, Hungry, hit it.
Hit what? I mean, my God, you want us to hit the episodes?
No, I want you to hit the song.
I know, I'm kidding. Emily Gangadine and the Retrievers.
All right, there you go. Hello, Emily. And Oi is my Aussie mate, Hungry.
Indeed.
Exactly. JT Kirk's here, as always. Daisy Blossom is also with us, also over on the Twitch side and on the YouTube side. She is just everywhere. And
Footy
does lift his snoot a little and waves a little. So, hey.
Oh, that's nice.
He's Brogu. Welcome, Brogu.
Hey, Brogues.
Good to see you tonight.
Hello.
Good to see you tonight. All right. So, boy.
And Mr. A is here, too.
Mr. Angel, yep. Hello. Yes, exactly. Good to see you. I will, in our late night show, I have some of the memes he gave me in the most recent download.
Wow.
So join us for that. So, and Bucky's crafting. Bucky going to be lurking for now. Will attempt to get the kids in bed. Wish you luck. Yes. Good luck with that. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Storm Poopa said 100. It's 106 seconds. It's 106 parsecs to Centaurus. We've got a full tank of deuterium, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses.
Right on.
Nice.
You said that line. So Mr. Angel
We're
is
on
now
a mission
throwing...
from Q.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Mr. Angel's throwing out lobster with molten butter now. So hey. That's so. And Bucky says hello to everybody. And let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Bucky remembered from the show this morning. Mrs. said it's Hug an Australian Day.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Do you have to pay for hugs? What the hell? Like,
no. Bucky's not a hugger, but said I would hug Hungry.
That's nice.
Okay.
Air hug Hungry. Okay, there you go. Jeez. Nice. Thanks for volunteering me, Bucky. All right. But see, I like to hug the ladies mostly. So, but guys, we'll do it. But hey,
that just sounded like maybe, I don't know.
I'm already married. Thank you.
DJ Play Nice. Good to see you. Whee! So Brogu's cleaning out the garage tomorrow. Yay me. I'm so happy. That could be good. So, you're welcome, DJ. Thank you. Thank you for hanging around. Good to see you tonight. All right. But I do hug everybody. I am a hugger by nature. I just like to give Hungry a hard time if I can say, yes, Bucky. I have motto. I did say my motto is have hug will travel. Exactly. And yes, that I like to hug the lady. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Oh, hug a wombat day. How about that, Hungry? Do you have hug a wombat day down there?
No, but we should.
They're cute.
You'd have to have big arms though, because they are very stocky creatures. They're very stocky.
I feel like you're going to have a high number of fatalities on that day.
Yeah. It's pretty true. And the best thing about wombats, before we go on, their favorite mode of attack is to actually turn around backwards and then quickly run backwards and ram you with their giant rump. It's hilarious.
Oh well. I was waiting for a hug a cassowary day, but
no. There is no hugging the cassowary unless, you have a choice: hug a cassowary or death by cop. Well, how do you want to go out? It's a suicide mission.
Oh my!
No, seriously,
Okay.
cassowary, do not no. Don't even make eye contact. Not even eye contact.
Wow, we know what scares hungry.
You damn right. I'm not scared of spiders the size of my hand, but I'm gonna run from a damn cassowary, and I'm half crippled.
No arachnids.
No arachnids.
Yeah.
Daisy is never going to watch Tarantula from 1955. She's never
Already
gonna watch
have.
that. Oh,
And arachnophobia. I don't like spiders.
Look who's in the chat, none other than Combat Wombat.
I love it. While running backwards. Yeah, indeed. That's beautiful. Why you got a pug avatar instead of a wombat avatar? Come on.
The pug is cute.
The pug is cute. Wombats are cute too.
Yes, they are.
Oh dear.
All right. Well, here we've gone through. We've introduced the chat. Thanks to everybody that are here tonight. We appreciate you being here so far. Feel free to share out the stream, bring people in, and let's have some fun with this tonight. The first episode we have is The Hand of the Goral, episode 35, number 11 in season 2. Directed by David G. Finney, written by Francis Moss. First aired March 26, 1981, episode 55914. Buck, Hawk, and Wilma rescue a downed pilot from a strange planet called Vordeath. When they return to the Searcher, they find that the crew's attitudes have changed. Admiral Asimov is paranoid of mutiny, Crichton acts nicely, and Twiki is belligerent. Buck also notices small physical differences to the layout of his quarters, and he can only suspect the ship and everyone aboard it is an imperfect duplicate. Meanwhile, the real Searcher is caught in a trap set by a powerful being from the planet below who offers Buck wealth and power in exchange for the lives of the Searcher crew. This guest stars with John Fujioka, the Hand of Goral, William Bryant, Fujioka as Hand of Goral, William Bryant as Cowan, Peter Kastner as Reardon, Dennis Haysbert, your good hands guy, as Lieutenant Parsons, and Michael Horsley as Yeoman James. Are
you reading that synopsis from IMDb?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Once again,
I took it right out of Wikipedia this time.
Oh, okay. Well, both of them suck because they're not really representing this episode very well.
Well, I'm about to do my normal walkthrough of the regenerated plot thing again, but I was just thinking about Combat Wombat. As a wombat, it identifies as a pug, so don't judge. And so Brogu's saying, "Here you go. Ladies, feel free to hug me all you want. I've been told that. I'm scrumptious." Oh, with that face, Brogu? Yeah. All right.
If a wombat looks like that pug, it's been pickled. And you know what I mean.
Mr. Angel said, "Let's cut a platypus." So it's sort of
they've got venom. They got venom in their back legs. You do not want to hug a platypus. No.
Well, Sword of Poopus says, "Feel free to hug me if you like your ribs being crushed."
I'll do it.
All right. Well, here we go. Basically, we get this thing. Wilma, Hawk, and Buck are sent down to the planet to check it out, and then they find this mysterious wreck there with the guy they call him Reardon.
Oh, they actually see ancient ruins before they see the glint of the metal on the wreck.
You see fog. You see the fog uncovers. You see the ancient ruins and temples. You see some hieroglyphics, all that kind of stuff, and then they find this apparent stranded person on the planet, and they take him. Wilma takes him back to the ship for medical attention, while Hawk and Buck stay on the planet. And They tried to go back up to the ship. Felt like it was the best thing, but they noticed the oddities. Wilma wasn't herself, and actually, when they first got to the hangar bay, Admiral Asimov was chewing out all the crew.
Well,
Like,
to be fair, Dadman, there was a
yeah.
massive hint to the audience before that where
Mhm.
you have the scene when they're going towards the ruins and Hawk goes to check it out. Buck's doing something else. Hawk
Mhm.
disappears for a moment. Buck notices that, screams out to Hawk. Hawk says, "Oh no, Buck!" And he sees Buck disappear. So they're giving us the heads up immediately in the episode that
Mhm.
there's something wonky going on, something metaphysically wonky.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then we go back up and
Then
then
we
we
get
see
back,
other
and then we
wonky
get,
things.
and everything's changed. The ship has small differences in it.
Mm.
Crichton, Mr. Butthead robot, is like is
Yeah.
like is like Mr. Friendly to everybody, and Tweaky is like a
A
butthead.
butthead.
Yeah, it's like, so everything was opposite, and and I had a trouble telling when they actually showed the real searcher, and it wasn't until we saw the trap that had engaged it, like a tractor beam from the planet.
Mm.
And after a lot of the back and forth, we have the Hannah Goral telling them, "You got to go up there and find the real the real threat, and that will destroy your ship and all that." So then they go back up and they figured out what had happened. And near the end, they checked the reactor room, and it was Lieutenant Parsons, and they said they had checked it, everything's fine in the room. And then they walk out, then hey, there's Lieutenant Parsons again, and they finally realized the fake was in there, and ultimately revealed himself as the Hannah Goral and said, "You passed," and 10,000 years is a long time to be alone. Alone.
That whole
And then,
scene with Parsons was a real project.
yeah. Ah. So, and then basically, Hannah Goral melts into a pile of ugly goo, and then everybody laughs, and the episode is over. So, all right, Daisy Blossom, my friend.
Yes.
What? I mean, that's my general, really quick synopsis of how. It was not the bad episode, but it really was not much to describe, I think. But what were some of the observations you had with this one?
First of all, I like the Parsons Project.
Alan Parsons Project.
Oh, look
yes.
at this! Look at this, Brogu. You're not the only one that's talked to me about watch parties, and if I can find a good way to do it, I know that Cosme does some stuff. I've seen people that have some problems with Cosme. I've also seen it done as a YouTube webinar. Right now, it's a matter of time, but you know what? That would be interesting to do something like that, because that's one of the common things I hear from a lot of people with the channel is to do a watch party of some type. So thank you for that suggestion. Oh, and it's President Palmer in this one. No. All right, Daisy, my friend. I'm going to let you go start off tonight.
Yeah, I have notes. As we go along, I'll probably bring things up. I did feel that, yeah, they were trying, but it was telegraphed. And Wilma's outfit kept changing at weird points, so I went, okay, so Wilma's not Wilma, and whatever's going on can't be like biological because it's affecting the robots. And I think I've watched too much sci-fi and I figured it out way too quickly.
Right.
And then, to be quite frank and honest, it was, oh yay, it's over. Why did this happen? We don't care. Everyone's smiling. Let's move on. And wait, you didn't explain anything, which annoys me.
It had like the typical 70s ending where everybody laughs and it freezes them on the laughter stage at the end of the episode. And then I noticed the last few weeks they've been doing that every week.
Yep.
I like the freeze frame, but what I don't like, and Daisy knows this, and Daisy knows this, and I think we're all in agreement is, and I'm sorry for spoilers for something that is over 40 years old, but we have a situation where the entire plot happens because it's a test, and that's no better than it being all a dream, or that's no better than it was all in your head. And we talked about this before. This is the only part of the episode I despise, where none of what's going on is going to have a real science fiction basis behind it. It's metaphysical. This is a metaphysical episode. And that's a problem.
Yes. But I also had a problem with the fact that if you are going to do that, you should at least attempt to explain why a being who'd been alone for 10,000 years, besides having lost his marbles, did this. Why? And he said he was the hand of Goral, meaning he isn't Goral. He's not Gozer the Gozerian. So I want to see the main person and why is this entity doing this? And no, we're just going to all be happy and move on.
Well, I mean, before JT really rips it to shreds, and so he should. But admittedly, I'm going to love this episode more than you guys. Okay. The thing is, they weren't even, and Daisy, because of your work, what you do, I don't like inconsistencies. So Goral is referred to as a race, and then we have the guy from, and I have this in my notes, Kung Fu, the series. He's actually referring to it like an entity. Choose a lane. Pick a lane. Make up your mind.
Correct. Yes.
Hey, thanks a lot, Hungry. You spoiled it for Brogu, too.
You're never going to watch it, bro.
He's only been traveling the universe with Grogu for 40 years.
You're never going to watch it. I don't care. I love you, but I don't care. No. It was a terrible inconsistency, and it actually really hurt the episode for me. But,
yes.
Hate the inconsistencies. Oh,
I mean, as an educator, when you're giving a test, whatever the test is, there needs to be a reason, and it needs to be explained to those who are taking the test as to why this is going on. Even if you're going to say, okay, it's either a race or an entity, and this is what they do, because we've seen that in other sci-fi. Okay, cool, no problem. I'm with you. But tell me why. Right. Just even if you go, okay, the entity has lost their mind. Well, then tell me that. Give me something. Don't just end the episode because that's right at the end, and you're going, whatever goodwill you might have had, and positive. I just went, are you kidding me right now? Yeah, I figured it was going to end that way. Well, why did I watch this?
Well, what got me was the God is like, whoa, I'm lonely. I'm so lonely.
No, he wasn't a God. He wasn't a God. He was the avatar of the God.
Yeah, but the thing is, the whole point is so lonely that, but everybody gets destroyed. Just capture them and put them in a bowl or something.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I mean, but every time he kills them, it's like, well, of course you're gonna be lonely. Anybody that does come by, you get rid of them.
He's so lonely.
Yeah, so exactly. Why is it always the hand of something or the fist of something? Why not the foot of something or the gallbladder of something? Or Mr. English said the appendix.
The appendix.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Mr. Ray. I like
that. Putin's even better. Why not episodes with Buck's name? The Bucking Bronco, Bucking Wilma, etc.
Right.
No.
We wanted him to buck Wilma. We wanted it, but we never got it.
Oh, wait till we get to
I thought it was going to happen in this episode. But
came close in the second episode. Close.
In the next episode. I noticed that I had to rewind what I saw. One of our big topics of debate.
Smoochy boochies.
That was not like Luke Sky. That was not like kissing your sister type of kiss either. That was
the real deal.
Sort of poopus. That would work. I am the appendix of Gurzod the Annoying. All right. Now that we've taken a nice little thing with 16 of you guys here, JT, what are your opening thoughts on this wonderful prized episode?
I would like to talk to the actor Hawk and see if he had any deleterious health effects from like standing on top of that caustic smoke and ash solution.
Yeah,
because he definitely stepped in it and got real close, and I'm like, dude, don't stand back.
Yeah, don't breathe that.
It looked like a combination of sulfur and applesauce. With a lot of turmeric added for the yellow coloring.
Yeah. Next, coming to your next Brady Bunch episode,
Well, I'm still waiting for that
Sulfur
Brady
and
Bunch
applesauce.
music.
Yeah.
Sulfur
Sulfur and applesauce. Sulfur and applesauce. Yeah, sorry.
This
Go ahead,
episode to me was basically 60% That Which Survives and 40% The Savage Curtain, which are 2 TOS episodes. So
really, are they written just like it? I mean, are they like mirror copies, or are they just parallel or similar?
I mean, if you glued them together and smashed it into 50 minutes, it would be this episode, more or less. Yeah.
So we're getting back to what some of the speculation had been, is that they took a like a Star Trek type of turn on it in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they put the metaphysical in it too, which not to say that Star Trek couldn't do that. I just think they did it a lot better.
Well, they always, even when they failed, they tried to put the sci-fi into it, Daisy. And here, the sci-fi is not there. This is presented as a sci-fi problem, but it is actually a metaphysical problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I thought this episode would have been better if they would have had Ardala in it. And that's the end of my opening thoughts about this episode.
Ardala makes everything better.
Make it sound like
is she going to bring Tiger Man or the other guy?
Oh, yeah.
Good question.
Oh, Daisy, I would have loved that, because Tiger Man would have just run up to the throne at the end and just smacked the crap out of the hand of Goro.
True.
What's with the way that all the replicants died? I mean, they became little puddles of goo. They like turned into like the
toxic smoke and fire and brimstone.
But that was another problem. You know, when we first see them, like in this cheap ass matte effect silhouette, and we see the flames going up, that was like a metaphysical version of the transporter effect from the original TOS.
Correct. Yeah, I was thinking that. Oh, they got transported and then they turned into goo on the floor, and I'm going, right, wrong show.
Right. Terrible.
Isn't that sort of what it looks like when the transporter doesn't work right?
You can, true. It depends.
Okay.
Sometimes the transporter looks like blue vertical lines, and sometimes it looks more like what that looked like with the orangey dots.
Oh no, I'm talking about the residue on the ground when it doesn't work. You know.
Oh no, when it doesn't work, it's usually yuck.
It's like a David Cronenberg movie when it doesn't work.
It's that or what is that? The one where the aliens, they're in the
thing
frozen. The thing. It's kind of like something from The Thing almost.
Yeah. You do not want to be in a transporter beam accident.
No.
But you know, this whole episode, to go back into what my initial thoughts were on this, I'm sorry, I can't stay away. I thought it was just a disorganized mess.
Yep.
I didn't understand the episode. Like, and I watched it twice, and I don't understand it. No, like, I know Hungry's laughing, but I'm like dead serious. I don't understand why they did any of it in like the sequence of event. Like, it just.
It's baffling. It is actually baffling.
Yeah, because it's not. Go ahead.
You go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, because the whole thing is predicated as it's on this test. Okay, so we're testing Buck only? And I'm with you. It's like, okay, there's not a cognitive through line here. What? Right. Why? How? Huh? And we're done.
And and to back you up, Daisy, it's even inconsistent in what you're mentioning now, because when the testing aspect of it is first brought up in the third act, shall we say. The hand of Goral is saying that he was testing both Hawk and Buck. And then later it just switches to just Buck for no reason whatsoever. No consistency.
That's because Hawk passed. That's because Hawk passed.
Yeah, that's true. I think he passed too. It was pretty easy to figure out that wasn't Hawk.
Yeah.
I will just say this because I may forget it later. Towards the end, when they're in not the engine room,
fusion core.
The fusion core. That was it.
Right.
Yes. Okay. With the tubes that wiggle when you touch them. When Hawk,
right?
God, tell me about it.
Tofu drag searcher going on there. Anyway,
Starter Poop is saying the testing plot is used a lot.
Yeah, it is. This was not done well. So they split up. Wilma goes one way, Buck goes Howard-Keato's, and then Hawkman goes around the side. Well, the actor Hawkman, when he walked back out, the moment he started, all the actor did was move, and then move his head and his eyes. And I'm going, that's not Hawk.
Right.
Because the actor who plays Hawk, whether or not I like the costuming and the makeup, he has a very specific way of acting, even when he's not saying anything, because he's a bird. And in the beginning, Birdman, in the beginning, it was more of a physical presence. He didn't speak very much.
Right.
So the minute he walked around the corner, I went, oh no, they got Hawk too.
Yeah, it was obvious, but to little kids,
True.
like when I watched this as a kid, I kind of caught on to it, not entirely, and I thought I may be right, I may be wrong, I don't know. But rewatching it as an adult, I thought, oh my God, that is so bloody obvious. That is so bloody obvious. So I agree with you completely, Daisy. But
it is this. It's the same actor, though. So I am praising that he did such a good job that you could pick it up without him having to change his voice or do something really dumb, you know?
Or a bad piece of dialogue. It was a subtextual versus being obvious and on the nose.
Correct. Sorry, go ahead. Whatever anybody else wants to say. I just was trying to praise it. I really liked that. Oh, no, I'll play off of you guys. Someone else say something.
Well, we can talk about Hawk in a moment, but I mean, I need to ask Daisy, since Daisy's talking about the duplicates. Shall we refer to them as duplicates? Yeah. Okay, how did you feel about the Wilma duplicate?
Well, it's like Buck said. Buck said you could tell it wasn't the same. I mean, she was panicked too early. Yeah, go ahead, Daisy.
Yeah. Well, no, So while the actor who played, they gave the actor who played Hawk, the ability to make it subtle so we could pick it up. The way they wrote it for Wilma, the moment she started acting like, oh my God, I'm afraid. Hold me, Buck, you big, strong guy with alarms and all that. Oh, and I'm going, oh my God, I am going to be ill. She is not a 16-year-old, and that is not Wilma.
Did you notice the way she was snuggling her nose and lips into the small of his neck?
Yes!
I remember being 16. That's what a girl does when she wants attention.
That's what I just said. She's not 16. She's Colonel Wilma Deering. And I'm going, nope, that's not Colonel Wilma Deering.
No.
Well, neither was Hawk. Hawk, like Snooter Poop said, you're not the real Hawk. Hawk would have dropped a feather and pooped on my windshield by now.
He doesn't have too many feathers to drop.
Okay, you got to repeat it then. Bucky says, what does this girl do when she wants attention?
Well, depending on the age of the girl.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, she was acting like a teenager, and I'm going, okay, so this is where this is going.
Yeah,
and Asimov, of course, was obviously storming around, and this guy goes in the brig, and that guy's going to be executed, or something. It sounded like he said the second guy was going to be executed for
he made that
some other offense. Yeah.
See, I thought that they made Asimov too much of a jerk, though. He went so hardline. It was like over the top. Like everybody. I mean.
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Admiral Adamo was in fine form. Let me tell you.
You still want to call him Asimov, will you?
That's the way you would have ran your ship, JT.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
Well, it was much more like a military until he got to the point where you were off 0.03 of a something of another for 10 seconds, and now I'm gonna, throw you in the brig and probably execute you after the other guy.
No, in reality, you'd be on like extra detail, and you'd have to like clean stupid shit for like a week
with a toothbrush. You have to clean the floor with a toothbrush.
Exactly.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket time. Full Metal Jacket in space.
Mm-hmm. That's basically how I would run that ship. But,
so I guess it's time for JT to run with this portion of the topic right now.
I did enjoy the alternate. I had to watch a poop turd of a Star Trek Discovery episode the night before that was supposed to be a mirror episode, and it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
It actually just wasn't. And so now I got to see people acting all alternate university on it, kind of. I mean, that's basically what I pictured it was being. I did like the way the robots were swapped to their alternate personalities. I got a kick out of that, but I thought the actors, for the most part, did pretty well portraying that. So.
Well, that's a good point because, I mean, honestly, you guys, all of you hate Crichton more than I do, okay? But
easily.
the fact that he had to be peaches and cream in that sequence.
Okay, so which is good, and I got it. The minute he started being nice, I'm going, okay, it's got the robots as well. But they didn't give Crichton enough lines of being Mr. Nice Guy as opposed to Tweaky just being, I am overworked and underpaid and I hate you humans and I don't gotta go make a cup of tea for somebody. And I mean, that came off way better.
Yes.
They just didn't quite give Crichton enough for those of us who don't like him of him being nice and helpful or something.
Yes, and they could have added just another minor scene with Crichton doing that, and it would have added so much. And they could have cut out a little bit of the filler in this episode. I mean, there's a bit of filler, so you know what I mean. Like when we actually meet the Hand of Goral, there is about probably 15 seconds of dialogue we did not need. We could have given Crichton a 10-second scene. Which actually people don't realize how long 10 seconds is in a TV episode. 10 seconds runs a long time.
It is.
And we could have had a bit more of what we needed versus a bit of what we obviously, by the time we get to the episode, did not need, if you know what I mean.
Well, so Bucky, I guess, said earlier the question, what do you want with attention? She had to set the phone to get to sleep. And then I do a lot of things, so... saying, fine form, that's what she said. And Mr. Angel does say basic training flashbacks. Ever tried cleaning a hole of a planet-sized mothership with a toothbrush?
Right on.
No, I haven't.
No, I don't plan to anytime soon either.
So I don't have a comment, but I've got a question for both JT and Daisy, and also you, Dadman. So this is a question because the whole episode, for the most of it, is predicated on doubles, okay, duplicates, fake people. So we have the intelligence on the planet, and we don't even have like Daisy said, we don't even have a proper definition of how and why this intelligence exists. They learn enough to make nasty versions of the Admiral and Dr. Goodfellow and a naughty, saucy version of Wilma, but that knowledge apparently is due to limited info learned from this Mr. Reardon. I mean, the actors did it well played and well timed, but it's sloppy in the screenwriting. I mean, we got a lot of hints, but we don't have any justification for the hints. How does this creature, this simulacrum, that has barely had any interaction with humans and barely any interaction with any of the humans that Goral is therefore creating because of the interaction with the Reardon simulacrum, create these simulacrums to the point where Buck can be fooled for even, and Hawk can be fooled for even 2 seconds. It doesn't make any sense.
No, like you said, but Snorpoopus has got a bell. He's going to tuck in.
Oh, nutty.
All right.
Okay, good night.
Exactly. And we'll be going again later tonight. So if you take a nap and wake up, some of us will be still around. But hey, rest well. And Putin's cat said, Wilma, and he's right. Effectively, she was replaced at the beginning of season 2.
That hurts, but true.
That's true.
I do not recognize his name, Star Blazing Wolverine 68.
Hello.
Good
Hello.
I think you're new, but that's
and
right.
a nice Crichton. Yes, a massive switch that we saw from. I couldn't tell if he's just being a smartass the whole time. He was so nice. That was what was.
Well, see, the sarcasm that could have been Crichton being sarcastic, but we find out later it's not. But I would like to hear what Daisy and JT think about the lack of knowledge for the Goral entity being able to create these simulacrums that fooled major characters.
You keep saying simulacrons, and I keep thinking of Similac, like the baby formula.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just sorry, that's my brain. So, but also
Nice.
I got a milk story on my mind for later tonight.
Okay.
That's another story. No, it's not bad. It's a real news story. I had to look it up.
Oh, that's going to be where in the world, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
New Jersey.
Actually, I've seen it in the upper Midwest.
Montana.
Oh gosh, but yeah, sorry for.
I'll say Albuquerque.
That's not a state.
No, but it's messed up enough to be an entire state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no,
I've never been so scared to get gas for my car in my life.
Oh, in New Jersey?
No. Hungry knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I lived in New Mexico. I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right. Well, but
okay.
yeah, we had all these shifts. Go ahead, Daisy. Go ahead.
Okay, so to answer part of your question, I would say what they needed to make this make even a teeny bit more sense than it did is that the Reardon character needed to have been someone who worked on the Searcher and would be familiar with the crew. So it could have been a scientist that was on for a short period of time, or someone who retired, or whatever, so that the entity, whatever the heck it was, would have been able to pick the mind of Reardon and then make the copy, and would be able to copy kind of people. Except the other thing is, why would you say I'm making a copy of Wilma and et al. And then make them the exact opposite? Was it a mirror copy like the mirror dimensions that they do in Star Trek? Because if you make a copy, it's going to act like it should,
right? Rather
than being the polar opposite. But you really kind of needed the Reardon character to be somebody who had been on the Searcher, rather than just a random pilot who flew around making deliveries in that tiny little spaceship.
His putt-putt. Yeah, it was a putt-putt.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daisy. That was an excellent answer. I appreciate that. Now, JT, I'm dreading your answer, but I need to hear it.
Question one more time, please.
Okay. Okay, so we have the Goral intelligence, which is an avatar of the intelligence, not the intelligence itself, which is 10,000 years on that planet they established.
So like Trelane.
Yes, yes, Trelane.
Yes, Trelane.
And you are creating these simulacrums of Goodfellow and Wilma and the Admiral. But because the interaction with the humans has been so brief and so limited, how do they make something that can fool Buck and Hawk for that amount of time? It doesn't make sense to me, because there's a limited amount of information available.
But see, they actually physically replicated it, so they could brain scans maybe. But I don't know. You'd run into the problem of, if you went somewhere that you'd never been before, it would just be blank, right?
Yeah.
It's like when they fake you in an Inception kind of thing, and you're like, I never read past page 5 of this book, or the pages are going to be blank. So I don't know. I didn't understand why they physically duplicated anything. I thought when they were going to be jumping into those, I don't know, bubbles of space distortion.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe it. I thought maybe they'd get trapped in a holodeck or something. I thought that might have been more convincing, but holodecks are way too advanced because they weren't really. I mean, if you're going to exclude the Rec Room, they weren't even on Star Trek yet, and Buck is not about ready to trailblaze with it.
Well, I hear y'all's
well,
complaints.
this is why I'm saying, like, I was confused. I didn't understand why they were doing this, what the purpose of this duplication was, what the goal of Mr. Miyagi was really all about.
I like the actor though.
Yeah,
Mr. Miyagi did good. I like the actor.
But what if they did an extended away team where it wasn't just the three of them, but maybe had the little token crew member there that got mind wiped, and then that went back like that instead of this copy thing. Would that might have been a little more believable or acceptable in your opinion?
They needed to explain why they were doing it.
Yeah. We confused Bucky. I didn't understand I didn't understand
not
why
your husband.
Hawk got so angry all of a sudden either. Like that he told him it was a test. So a trained astronaut and military person would know I'm being tested. Probably threatening the guy as your very next move is not the way to go. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, but maybe Hawk was theoretically Hawk is a hawk man, so part quote unquote animal. I realize humans are considered animals. So maybe it was a poorly written version of an animal's response to being angry about something, maybe. I don't know. The writing was very poor. So, or maybe they were trying to make the audience think that's not really Hawk at that point. I don't. It's hard. It's very hard to know what they were trying to do.
Well, Buck knew pretty quickly. It wasn't too hard for him to figure it out. Buck apparently seemed to know everybody. Well, of course, Wilma was so different that you'd have to be an idiot to know that was not.
Oh, the snuggle! I mean, the snuggle. Come on,
the snuggle.
And they even bring it up in the end when Wilma is in that fantastic brown outfit when she's laying on the couch with everybody else. And he says, "Oh, I knew it wasn't Wilma when she was kind and generous." And
that was nice. And she throws the pillow at him. That was funny.
She genuinely was funny. At that. She genuinely laughed at that. I felt like they showed first.
Maybe that line was ad-libbed. Why she genuinely laughed at it because it wasn't what he said in it wasn't what was in the script, and he just said it. Made her really laugh.
I cannot wait till the second episode because I want to say I think there was something that might have been impromptu in that second episode.
Oh yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but hey, Bucky though says I can't come here without being confused between Buck and now Mr. Miyagi. I got to go with the flow if I want to stand a chance. Now, Mr. Angel is now saying it's obvious the lack of inspiration in the writers' room is getting obvious at this point because I will say I thought that this episode also had potential. I thought it had ways that it could have been great. It could have been better, but it just did not hold together in terms of the way it was written, and then just fell apart in so many ways, like you've been illustrating.
Well, I mean, there are other things too. Like we've said probably 8 times since we started reviewing this stuff. Glenn A. Larson is the master of the ripoff. Okay, right. He's the master of the ripoff. So not only is he ripping off Kung Fu philosophy for this and the Kung Fu show from the 1970s. He ripped off an actor from Kung Fu. John Fukuoka, who plays the hand of Goro, was in 5 episodes of Kung Fu. I have you no shame, Glenn A. Larson. No shame at all. But,
No, he doesn't.
but at least
The only
at
people
least,
with less shame are the people of South Africa that wrote Space Mutiny. Battlestar Galactica.
Right,
I mean, they
right.
ripped off Glenn Larson. What's better?
Well, what comes around goes around.
Exactly.
But I think Daisy and JT would agree that at least, even though his script was terrible, John Fukuoka, he gave it everything. I mean, he was doing nuances with his vocal intonation.
Oh, he was. He was good. I thought he was good.
Oh yeah, he was given 150%. That the eye movements, the hand movements,
Stroking
the
his
how he'd shift in the chair depending on what he was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Glenn Larson, he had the weird marooned guy say by Gabriel's bow, and I'm like sitting here going, really?
Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, here's the other thing. Okay, so that guy's injured, right? I'm sorry. This is
limping.
A costuming.
We see him. He's limping.
Okay, so he's limping. If you're going to be deserted on a planet for 3 weeks with some sort of injury, and you decide you either make a cane or a crutch, and those are 2 different heights involved. Why was he using what was basically too tall for a cane the same way you would a crutch?
Glenn A. Larson. That's the answer.
I mean, I guess they didn't have enough money for the whole height of the crutch. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. I do use a cane sometimes. And I have been on crutches, and they are not the same thing.
No.
Glenn, what is your problem, dear? There were all kinds of weird things about that. Okay, so they go down there and they find the guy, and they're going to rescue him. So then they decide, okay, Wilmy, you take him back to the ship. They had already decided there were no other life forms. They only went because they found the crash ship. So why do Buck and Hawk stay? Now, given that they did stay, why do they not take more pictures and scans before they decide, oh, well, there's nothing here, let's go back? You haven't even looked. You didn't even find Mr. Miyagi in the church thing.
Mr. Miyagi.
Oh man! Well, let me
in
say
that,
hello
in
to
that
Jason
Greek temple
Falk.
with the Egyptian obelisk. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Greetings, Jason. Good to see you tonight. I was on his show last night from 540 Studio. Good to see you in with us tonight, man, friend. By the way, Star Blazing Wolverine said the show was on crutches by this point.
Yep.
And Mr. Angel actually says the episode tries to refer to an epic mythology to try to pull off a great story. Lots of he meant member berries in a way, but it's lazily done and the mixture just does not work.
Yeah, correct. I still like the episode, but see, I like it. I hate the episode for the plot crutches. There's a joke, Daisy. The plot crutches, but the performances, I honestly thought all the actors were actually doing their best, and we know Wilma was the star of the show because of what she had to deal with. Aaron Gray had to deal with a lot in this episode.
Absolutely. So hopefully you all have had a chance to at least remember Buck Rogers. Go back, watch our earlier shows from the first 2 seasons. Well, I guess the only 2 seasons. And next week will be our last Buck Rogers stream. We'll be looking at 1 episode, and we will be doing a recap for the 2 seasons. And Dave C will be back with us next week. So hey.
Oh no, Daisy! No, you're not going to be with us.
No, she will. We're going to have a big family. We're going to have everybody.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have a party.
God, you terrified me. For
Yeah. No, I'm going to be here. But Dave
serious
covered for
party.
me and did a very good job, and so yes, he deserves to be here.
I agree.
Put in his 2 cents as well.
Exactly. So, folks, with this episode, any other high points, any other low points with this? It was an episode I thought that had some potential. They it just kind of like it just fell short with some of the writing that they had in it. I see, JT, you liked Admiral Asimov like that, and I thought he's a little too heavy. But Hey, I did like it. I tell you what, I did appreciate the difference in it in the character. Instead of Grandpa going around advising, it was like you got Patrick there on the
Grandpa.
bridge. So, and
Grandpa.
Miss Mark Muses is here. Welcome, Miss Mark Muses.
Hello, Miss
Hail
Martin.
Hello.
to you. And go check her channel out, folks. Tomorrow night she has a monetization celebration at 5
Oh,
p.m. Yes.
congratulations. Awesome.
And
Congratulations. That's
yes,
hard to do.
exactly. And she has
Hooray.
actually asked me to be on. I don't hope I. Well, again for another Civil War show about Chancellorsville coming up soon. So sorry if
Nice.
sorry if I talk too much. I'm just excited about talking history. We don't
Mm.
have a lot of people that talk history and stuff like that. But I've always enjoyed my time with Miss Martin Music. And congratulations to you, Teresa, on all the success and all that you got going on yourself. And thank you for coming by here tonight with us as we are talking Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Any other thoughts on this one? Any other places where you guys want to go with this show? Because I honestly, this is I think what the problem has happened to this series is like Mr. Angel said it. The writers' room was lacking. It's not the actors' fault they're doing it, but it just seems like it didn't try to be its own thing. It tried so hard. Like we talked about the parallels with Star Trek. It tried to borrow from other shows instead of trying to do its own thing. It
Yep.
got rid of the bang bang pew pew, which did bring in certain elements of people like me, the peons and the serfs out in the field.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding for the princess. She knows the joke. But but it did feel like it so different the second season than what the
Yep.
first season did, and
Yeah.
and I think it's hard when you do something that different to have success in these episodes as they go out. Because see, I'm still stuck remembering what Wilma. Look at I have her comments. Wilma from the first season. That's not Colonel Deering. That's
Right.
not a colonel. And all. These themes keep popping up every episode they go along. And it's
Agreed.
like, I think that's what's made the second season. Had the second season been the first season, maybe it'd be different. It may be better received because it was.
It would have been canceled.
It would have been
Yeah.
canceled.
Probably, but
Yeah.
But I did
when
say
you got a hog guy with no feathers, no wings. But go ahead, Daisy.
when we interviewed, sorry, wrong word. When we discussed season 1, the first 2 episodes, which I think was a big long one. And I was giving my grade, and Hungry said I gave a low grade. And Hungry said, "Oh, why so low? Didn't you like the episode?" And I said, had this been the first episode that we'd ever seen of Buck Rogers, then I would have given it a higher grade. However, since it was the first episode of season 2, and they changed how everybody was acting, and the outfits and the sets were obviously worse. No, I couldn't give it a high grade. And it's been all over the place with how they've changed so much. This is not like a TV sci-fi show. They're all over the place.
And to back you up, a lot of the writers
Thank you, Mr.
I
Angel.
recognize from season 2, and a lot of them with the episodes we don't like do not have a lot of background in science fiction or genre at all. And the episodes we do like, they have background in genre and science fiction. And I think, it sounds like a cliche, but write what you know. You know what I mean?
And they
Daisy?
also did this. It's like Putin's cat had the question: did the princess stay in the other universe thing from the last episode of season 1? I mean, it was just like SpongeBob and Fine Dining and Breathing. He just dumped everything. The first season was completely dumped out down the trash chute, and we got Buck Rogers with his is he girlfriend or not or whatever, and a senile old guy, and an admiral that's like Mr. Rogers. It's like and a grumpy robot flying through the universe like in a big hippie van.
And
So-
safari suits. So many safari suits.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I would have liked.
Ugh.
I would have liked this better. Researcher crashes on Earth, but
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to crash on Earth, not in the current timeline, because Earth exists in this timeline. It just got nuked, literally.
Which
So
is
you
very
would have to.
important. Yes, very important for the next episode we're going
The
to
next
talk
episode,
about.
correct. So if you were going to do something like that for the second season, you would have to have gone back to Earth in a different point in time, not a different timeline, but a different point in time. So not the 25th century.
Yeah, a reverse Planet of the Apes where you go back in time instead of the future. Then that could work.
Yes, something like that would have.
Blessed, clean. Actors. I don't know.
All right,
You
zestfully
reverse.
clean. Well, but like our dollar, we lost our dollar. All the stuff we lost from because
You don't
like we
remind
talked
me.
about before. I would have loved to have Dr. Hewer.
Yeah, God,
yes, I miss Dr. Hewer.
I would have rather had him instead of Dr. Goodfellow. I just no offense to the man, the actor. We talked about some of those earlier episodes this season when it's like he's just they didn't write him well. They just seemed like a just
doddering old fool.
Yeah, and it was like not respectful.
Yeah.
I really missed the character of it, but even now when he talks and does stuff, it's like you don't have that leader, that charisma, that solid, with Dr. Hewer. I mean, that decisiveness, that presence, and I do miss things like that from season 1. So
well, Dr. Goodfellow was a different type of doctor.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I mean, not just the acting style, but like his discipline is more archaeology and that sort of thing than Dr. Hewer. Yeah.
So
well, also I miss our nice little disc-shaped AI personality who was so important to everything going on with the Earth Federation forces.
Yes, Dr. Theopolis.
Yeah, Theopolis was a great character and wonderfully voiced. And the really horrible thing, Daisy, the same guy who voiced Theopolis is the guy who voices Crichton.
No way!
Oh my God, I cannot believe that.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's a good actor.
But you know what, Hungry? This is on your head. This is on your head. Yes, because you poo-pooed all the great 80s dancing, new wave disco dancing and stuff they did the first season, and now we don't get any more of that great music and funk.
Disco was in this. Disco was in the 70s, not the 80s.
Well, it started in this show started in late 70s.
79.
Yes.
70. But you know what? There is a lot of great 70s music and a lot of great 80s music, and disco is none of that.
I got to talk about the Disco Demolition Night on one of our Squirrel streams one night. But folks, I mean, panel, is anything else on this show before we grade it to move on to the next
I got a couple of notes, but I want to hear from Daisy and JT first.
Okay.
I'm looking through my notes. JT, if you have something.
I really did not. I was just so confused the whole time. Like, why did they go to this planet in the first place? What's the point of any of this crap? Like, it just. Why did you
We're searching for the lost tribes of Earth, which we borrowed from our other franchise that got canceled years earlier.
But I have like 10 questions that are huge questions about the basic
You're
bones of
supposed
the
to come
episode.
with answers, JT, though. Oh, man.
I want to hear the questions. I can't help myself. I want to know.
Having an existential crisis.
Why did they go to this planet?
Okay. First question is what again?
Why did they go to this planet in particular?
Okay.
Why did they do half the stupid shit they did when they landed on the planet?
Listen, when JT's resorting to cussing, he's lost it.
Why did they have an obelisk?
Why did they do
in the middle of the square?
An obelisk in the middle of a square that was like still active.
Okay.
It was clean. Let me interrupt for just a second. It's an obelisk in the middle of a square on a planet that should have been deserted for 10,000 years.
Right.
Why is it dirt around the obelisk?
Yep.
Yep. And why is there not pigeon poop on the obelisk for 10,000 years?
Exactly.
We know how pigeons like to poop on things. So.
No, well, Buck does say that there's no sound on the planet, i.e. no animals.
Good catch.
Sorry, go ahead, TJ. TJ, I'm sorry. That's my No, that's my uncle's. That's my uncle's name is TJ. I am sorry, JT.
He's got the Shatner. It's the other Shatner character, TJ Hooker.
That was my dyslexia kicking in. Please proceed.
Why is there a Greek temple there with a direct TV dish on the top? Why did Wilma take this guy back by herself? Why didn't they all leave together and debrief him before they just stay and hang out? Why is this a not perfect copy of everything that's made just bad enough that he knows that he got a fake Gucci purse instead of a real one for $10 in Central Park? Why are they being tested? Why did Buck fly off the handle after he was told he was being tested?
Right.
Why is everybody vaporizing? What's the consequence after the test? Pass or fail? They say they're all going to die. I don't believe it. Why do we care about this episode going into the next? Because it's not like they pick anyone up. They don't find anything out about any of the people that are on this planet or why any of this crap is there. Nothing.
Yeah.
It just
Take a
hurts.
breath. Take a breath.
Because they should have been able to answer about more about this,
especially since the purpose is finding out things. That's why they went down to the planet.
They are called the Searcher. Is the name of their ship.
And they didn't.
We came down. We searched for 5 minutes. Then we left. Okay, great.
And we picked up a cripple.
Yes.
We have no reason to trust, and we're not even going to investigate his circumstances.
And he wanders around the ship. And Wilma finds him in the hallway, and she's like, "You keep wandering off." Okay. The second time he did that, you're confined, and we have someone watching, but you don't go wandering around our ship.
Yep.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Shall we? Okay.
I got a couple of happy notes just to buck up the rating of this show. A few happy notes from a major sci-fi nerd. Okay, remember when they bring out the photo cannon at about 26 minutes into the episode, about halfway through? That was the photo cannon had the exact same sound effect used for the spaceships in the original Buck Rogers serials from 1939, and I respect.
Nice.
That. I did have a Canon printer. I never had a Canon photo.
Yeah, photon cannon, you bitch.
You said it sounded like you said photo cannon, not photon.
Oh, photon. I apologize.
Yeah. So
that's why he was being.
Okay, I cop to that. Oh, and then this is just, oh my god, this is gonna make Daisy and JT laugh. A snare beam. Okay, desperate to use a synonym for tractor beam, but you can't bother. You can't bother to spend 5 minutes to look up the thesaurus.
The thesaurus. And that's in my notes too. Snare beam, really. Wow. And then I'm going, as a former drummer, I'm going, there's alternate meetings for snare.
Right? Right. And then I'm sorry, I'm just laughing so hard at this. I still not love the episode. Able to become anything which is wished. Anything, says the Handagorl. Okay, fine, Mojo. Become a Harryhausen stop-motion giant monster on a Glenn Larson budget. We know you can't do that. Not on the budget for this show.
Then Buck says, then let my friends go. And he goes, oh, well, except for that. You didn't say there were caveats. You said I'll give you anything.
Precisely.
I looked it up in the thesaurus. I think my favorite synonym is beam of attraction.
No, I
Ooh,
like
I
that.
like
Go on.
that.
This show has done that forever. It's like look at the nice little peaceful non-military guys in the first and in the first season, and they said, "Well, screw you, you can't leave unless you help us." So it's always been a bait and switch with these seemingly helpless people, and so
Well, my last point,
okay,
and it's purely a special effects point. There was a moment in the second half of the episode where the shuttle is landing on the Searcher and going into the hangar, and we see that from the pilot's point of view, and it actually was a beautiful special effect considering the limitations of the show at the time regarding budget, and it looked beautiful. It really did. It really, I thought it bumped up the production value of the episode.
They did do a very nice paint on the sculpt. So it showed a little bit of damage around the edge of the entrance to the thing. Yeah, that was a nice, I assume some sort of model. But the paint on it was good.
All right. So, Hungry, did you finish your points?
Oh, I'm all done with this episode.
Okay. JT, any more questions? Or do we have to pick you up off the floor?
I have one more question. Did any of the three of you find the girl of your dreams?
Oh, dear God!
I did. And it was Wilma earlier in the episode in a clip later viewing.
She's sitting in the other room in there?
I'll be honest, it was Ardala for me, but that's okay.
If she ever made it out of that alternative universe, which we never ever figured out.
I gotta get a coffee. You guys talk. I'll be right back.
Well, you hurry up. We gotta get your rating, but we'll start with JT. Kirk, how would you rate this thing on your normal scale?
On my normal scale.
Well, are you going to new scale tonight?
I was like, which one is that? I see this was really tough for me because I think the actors did well with what they had, but the whole thing was just a hot mess. I'd probably give it something, oh geez. I'm still really tossing this up.
Do you want me to help you out? Because I have the same dilemma. Okay. I thought the actors were doing the absolute best they could do with this insanity. Yep. So I did not wish to give it an F because you need to give some props. So I gave it a D+.
Okay.
The episode was a hot mess, but the acting was good.
Okay. Well,
does that help you at all, JT?
Yeah. In this episode, I thought did a lot of things that were improper. So I'm going to give it a 6 8/16 out of 10.
Wow. All right.
It's a math joke
very
anyway.
Scientific.
Yes, it was. It's also a sewing thing, so
Star plays. Wolverine says, "Oof, oof." Oh, we got it. We got a sewing. Daisy, you said a sewing reference. Wow.
Well, they do things in. Well, he was being cute because you would make that fraction smaller than. I forget what when you do something like 8/16, then that's really 1/2.
Yeah. Simplify.
What's simplify? Yeah, that's not it. What's the math term I'm going for, people?
It's simplify, but I know what. There's a different term.
All right. But anyway, that's the joke he was making. But in sewing, we do things in quarters and thirds, and music does really fast and in 16th notes. So
well,
multi-layered joke.
If you're not careful, hey,
like
you
that.
keep talking crafting. Bucky's Crafting will come out, and we actually had a great stream with Mrs. and Bucky's Crafting a few weeks ago.
Well, I mean, JT knows about music too. You've talked about that, so
yeah,
I mean,
I actually have rehearsal in the morning.
No! Oh no!
Off we go.
Yep.
All right, Hungry. What do you say with this one?
I honestly, this is purely due to the actors, okay, and the lighting and trying to work with sets and ignoring how other people put all of that together. I honestly give it a 6 Tweakies out of 10 Tweakies.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well,
No,
guess
honestly,
what?
I do. I think the acting was very good. I think that Erin Gray probably hated what she had to say in terms of the dialogue,
Mhm.
but she muscled through it. Okay, and I honestly think the guy who plays Admiral Asimov probably hated doing those lines too, and probably thought this is so bloody ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I
think
don't
the
know.
guy who
It could have
played
been good
Crichton,
for him. It could have been good for him.
I think the
He
guy
got
who
to yell
played
for once.
Crichton was absolutely overjoyed to have to say
Yes.
something
I
nice.
think he sounded
Nice.
smart.
Yeah.
I
Just
thought he
say
sounded,
something nice.
but I thought he sounded smarmy. I mean, he would have been really, really into it. Like, you want nice? I'll show you nice, mother humper.
Oh, it was syrupy, dude. It was
It was.
syrupy. It was
I
syrupy sweet.
tried that line. The missus is like, "What the hell do you want? What do you
Oh,
get?"
she was
Yeah. What do you want? Definitely. What do you want?
Exactly. Well, I'm going for 3 popcorns out of 5.
Wow, low rating.
Wow.
Out of 6, but it's 60% though. It's right in the same range of.
Oh, and that'd be a D too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 out of 5. I mean, it sounds good, but when you fractionalize it, then it's
Close to a fail, right, Daisy? Close to a
Yes. Close to a
so
fail.
it had elements, had potential, but just for all the reasons.
Hey,
Could not do it.
Daisy, student shows potential. Must pay more attention in class.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You didn't remember.
There you go.
Well,
All right.
I had very creative ways of saying things that sounded incredibly British nice while it was, if you thought about it for 2 seconds. I don't think I was behaving accurately, and Miss Daisy's not happy with me.
Believe me, I can blow through it. I can ignore it. Like, huh? What? I didn't get the message. But anyway, hey, that's a different story. Well, let's move on to our second episode of the night. It is Testimony of a Traitor, episode 36, the 12th in season 2, directed by Bernard McAvity. Stephen McPherson wrote this. April 9th, 1981 is when it first aired, episode 55917. As the plot goes, when the searcher returns to Earth, well, of course, this thing is the searcher had to return to Earth, was based there for a little bit, had just pulled off, and made about 12 hours out, and then they got a message to return to Earth, to go back to Earth orbit. So when it returns to Earth, but they have the big powwow on the flight deck. Buck's presence is specifically requested. Admiral Asimov has no clue why, and then he comes in, and that's where he gets charged. Are accused of by the prosecutor, who's known for trying war crimes and everything else, and Buck's on trial. Well, he stands trial. He's immediately arrested on charges of high treason. He stands the trial while his peers review a 500-year-old piece of evidence, a videotape from a 20th century unearthed from the ruins of an Air Force base, which shows
that was intact tape.
That was intact. Yes, exactly.
It also changed sizes.
Yeah.
Nice, Daisy.
And it was a beta, like Daisy had VHS or Betamax.
It started as about the size of a Betamax and became the size of a VHS later in the episode.
Yes. Somebody needs a refill of what, and then on trial for what happened. My gosh! Hey, my friend, good to see you, Masters.
Oh, Masters!
Hello.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Oh, thank God you're
here. How much time we got? A lot in for a minute, Masters. If you want to say something about it, please go ahead and say it, because he's got limited data, so he's got very limited time, my friend.
Well, thank you for taking your limited time to stay with us this evening, good sir.
Put the video on the lowest resolution possible, sir. So it
the
least amount of data.
360, 240 if possible.
Yeah, because we're not showing pictures.
Right, and also, guys, I think we all agree, if Masters, under his circumstances, has something to say, we just stop and pay attention to that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Without a doubt, but yes, and Bucky's is saying hello to Masters. Mr. Angel says hello to you, Masters, and
144 still exists.
I guess so, and Bucky's praying for you, Masters. So
what is 144?
I am as well.
Lowering
the
the resolution. Okay,
yes,
the resolution.
I thought it was some sort of tape, like VHS competitor.
Oh yeah, no.
Like I'm thinking like you're measuring it like a record.
This is like original QuickTime movies on a Nokia phone from 2006. Yeah, you laugh, Daisy. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Oh no, please, no.
We're so old.
Nightmares.
Masters, JT Kirk, paperwork is ready. Maybe we can arrange something for getting it to you. So I don't know. I think you two
Good.
have ways of getting in touch. So, all right, exactly. So check your emails, though, Masters. Definitely, and it's always an honor and pleasure to be with you. We are actually doing a double header tonight. After this, there'll be a squirrel stream later. Depending on how much data you have and what you want to or are up to, we will be doing some more later. But hey, it's just always good to see you at any time that we can get a moment and know that you're still with us, and let you know that express our love and prayers and everything for you.
Exactly.
So, well, for Masters, I know he loves this episode. It sounds like so, but yeah, I mean, you got the Air Force Base with the videotape. You see the traitorous Air Force people that apparently started World War III and brought down the end of the world. So Buck has to prove his innocence, but only has very, very faint memories of things. Then he resorts to using Dr. Goodfellow's memory probe, and only disjointed scenes and fractions of things come out at times, and eventually you start to see more and more gets revealed, including that his meeting with the president of the United States at a secret base inside Mount Rushmore, which still looks magically pristine and did not get destroyed in the nuclear holocaust, and the president's underground bunker still looks good. That flag looks good for 500 years old. In hopes of finally finding the truth of what happened before a final verdict was returned, they ultimately show what had happened. They also show that why Buck couldn't remember was this deep secret conversion. Hypnotic. Thank you. Hypnotic therapy where he could not remember it so easily, and it actually came back. And then he was acquitted. They dropped the charges, and the prosecutor apologized for charging him. But and that's it. Testimony of a traitor. He just could not remember, but it did show you the possible bad things of an overzealous prosecutor based on one piece of information. Somebody honestly explaining and yelling for proclaiming their innocence, yet in spite of the evidence that everybody sees that says something to the contrary. This was a good episode. This is one of those another ones that it's a miss in a way, because it had potential. It had a good storyline, but they really need to be a lot more realistic. And I think that's one of the problems of some of the 70s and 80s shows. They didn't get. They were. I don't know. It's like they were afraid of going dark in a way, because why would Mount Rushmore still be around? Or at least the underground base be in such a kind of, or the
it was like it's Vault 53, I think.
Well, and even better, but even better, they had their own curator there. Like, hey, he rolled out the welcome mat. Like, hi, folks, welcome into Mount Rushmore. I mean, what?
Well, I want to agree with you here visually as an artist who, when we started talking about this series, I talked about the matte paintings and how matte paintings are made and how things are altered via physical art forms. They could have altered Mount Rushmore to look damaged by the nuclear fallout and have it be recognizably Mount Rushmore, but still have it be damaged by World War III. So I agree with you.
The whole bunker just looked too new. I mean, it did not. It just looked. And Masters, if you're still there, Mrs. is saying hello now. So want to say that. And yes, we know that they established the 500 years. I mean, that was apparent, and and they did, but it was just like you got a curator there walking out and saying hello, and then just the condition of it, because one thing that I did have trouble was trying to figure out when he was in space to when the nuclear thing happened. It was kind of like, when did it happen? I was losing that time frame at times,
It was established in the script. It was. I mean, he
No.
I
was losing track of how did he go into space before this whole the timing of when he did this underground secret work versus when the nuclear happened.
The way I interpreted it, was he just got the codes, but then they released them later. That makes sense. Like the nukes were released later, but he had a pivotal piece in stealing the codes. He didn't actually launch them himself. Maybe that's not how it was supposed to happen.
Well, they also said his friend's message was on the 22nd of November in 1987. And I think they didn't launch the ship until 88. It's in the beginning. I don't watch the beginning anymore.
Yeah, he launched in 87 though.
Oh, okay. So if all this was happening toward if he launched in early 87 and he was gone, and then in late 87 they start shooting at each other,
right,
and annihilating one another, he's not on the planet anymore and he wouldn't know.
Yeah, I got lost in there a little bit, because then if he got their codes, then why did it even happen to begin with? But it just and hello to Edge of Time, good to see you.
Hey, Edge.
Well, and we don't know that this. So he got the codes, and theoretically, the American government then knew who in the American military was planning on launching the codes. But that doesn't mean that they got the codes, because Buck probably would have handed them back to the president or whoever. So we don't know if it was, quote unquote, the United States that launched first, or the USSR that launched first, or somebody else that just got a nuke that we didn't know about. So we don't know how that started, because they did say that at the end, so we still don't know what started it. But, Wilma says, but we know you didn't.
Yeah. As Star Blazing says, the beginning plot thread was lost after season 1. Yeah, this is one of those that just came out of nowhere. This probably should have been an earlier episode, I think, than where it was stuck in here for no reason near the end of season 2. They just happened to be back on Earth on a shore leave, and it would have been nice to them have it. What I would have liked to see in this is they'd have brought them back to Earth on the Earth to have the trial. Then we even got a cameo of Dr. Hewer and Dr. Theopolis, because I thought here's the other thing. I thought all the computers did all the judging.
That was established in season 1, but it's season 1, not season 2.
I mean,
but they had a weird human tribunal. Was it this season? Somebody else. Huck. Huck's. He was not going to say anything for himself, and then Buck stood up and said something. Those were all humans as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So
that's a season 2 thing.
Oh, Edge of Time is saying that 1979 JCPenney catalog features Alien, Buck Rogers, The Black Hole, Battlestar Galactica, and Star Wars. Yeah.
Nice.
It's speaking of Alien.
Or toys.
Probably toys.
Okay.
Probably toys. Because JCPenney had toys also. But Alien. Tomorrow I'm going to see Alien for the first time. And it will be on the big screen. And the Missus
You're going to love it. You are going to love it.
I'm doing a show tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Come find our reactions. We're going to have beams and all kinds of other stuff. So make sure you're there for that, folks. But absolutely. And JT resent the email masters in case you're listening. Action figure Golden Age right there.
Yeah. Exactly. Very nice. Very nice.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what drew me out of this. Okay. So I'm sorry to bring this up, but if anyone has seen Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they're in another multiverse, so they're in a different universe, and they step on these silly little pads in the floor, and it's called the memory store or memory lane or something, and it suddenly shows a memory. Okay, it does the same thing this show did. Okay, if it's my memory, I do not see my memories in anything other than first person me. I through my eyes. I do not see in my brain, in memories, myself standing there with the other person from multi different angles, camera angles in the same room. That's not how your memory works. You don't see yourself that way. And you don't do it for different.
This Daisy, the way that I mean, this is basically ripped off of Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
the way that they do this.
We all have it in our notes, right? We
know exactly which one it is.
Right on, JT.
The trial is one episode. The memory thing is another episode.
Yeah.
And we both all, Dadman, if you don't, all three of us know exactly which ones I'm talking about here.
Yeah, go ahead, name it.
The only reason, so the first one that I would say that we probably want to talk about would be the cage, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they do this memory thing, Daisy. In the menagerie, right?
Menagerie, yeah.
Yeah. And that show, they had a memory on a view screen, and they did it from multiple perspectives. Right. But that's because the aliens that were helping Spock talk about this were actually projecting that memory onto the screen. So they were able to do multi-views of what happened historically that weren't first-person perspective, because they didn't actually record it. They just had such large brains that they were able to project that, and they actually projected it on the screen. It wasn't, I don't believe it was transmitted, was it? It was actually
it was on the view screen. Yeah, it was on the view screen, kind of like this was supposed to be your brain on the view screen. Yes. That wasn't a transmission.
Right. And so, Daisy, that's what I was saying, why I interjected on what you were saying, because that got to me too.
Yeah, because this is supposed to just be Buck's memories of these things happening. So that's not how your memory, when you're remembering, oh, I went to Mount Rushmore, you don't see yourself looking like, oh, I see myself standing there looking at Mount Rushmore. You see Mount Rushmore in the way you saw it with your eyeballs.
You are the camera.
Other thing is,
you're only the camera.
Right, and you don't change perspectives. You don't suddenly look at it sideways and upside down and from the top. And no, that's not how that works. And he was also projecting memories of things. He wasn't in staircases, and he wasn't in rooms. How could you remember those things? You weren't there.
Right.
That kept throwing me out.
but Daisy, we just to jump to the end of the episode, we know that some of the situation was altered memories versus Buck's memories, and that's a big issue in this, and that's why I refer to this episode as Manchurian Candidate Cocktail Party. And anyone who's seen the Manchurian Candidate knows what I mean.
But which one? The original or the
original? The original.
Okay.
where you have falsified memories in order to achieve the objective, but then you also have the natural memories which come into play later. So I
but his natural memory of meeting the president also he saw himself in the room.
Yeah, that's just
which is not how you do that. I mean, I got what they were trying to do, and I kept trying to say, okay, it's a good idea. I get it. You've done it too fast. You've made the prosecuting guy
the issue that it's been done before. So people already know what they are expecting from this. If they were the first ones to do it and they did it that way, you could give them so much more leeway. But the thing is, it's been done in at least since Star Trek, if not more times between that and this episode. So you sit here and you go, okay, I know the budget's probably less by quite a bit for season 2, but if you're going to play the Star Trek game, you better do at least as well as they did 12 years before this or more.
And Star Trek
in the 60s.
Yes. Daisy, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the Star Trek episode was from the 60s, and this would have been done in the late 70s.
And this is in the 80s when this was made, the early 80s.
Oh, okay, well then this was filmed in the early 80s, and that would have been from the mid 60s. And they explained, as JT just explained, why you could see multiple perspectives and such. This was just, hey, we took it out of his brain and, oh, look, we put it on VHS on a wall, you know. No. That's sorry, no. You keep taking me out every time you do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
12 angry men in sci-fi costumes. Okay.
This is your brain. This is your brain on a view screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely said, Mr. A.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, when you see exactly, it's not seeing yourself standing in front of yourself. Yes. Yeah.
No.
These episodes were, I think, technically in season. Let's see, in 1981. This episode released April 9th, 1981. So, season 2 started in actually
80, didn't it?
80. It did. No. Season 2, First Time of the Hawk, debuted January 15th, 1981.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Flight of the War Witch ended season 1, aired March 27th of 1980.
Okay.
Yeah, so hey, Biotron, Micronauts is not one of my things that I've done, but hey, we could definitely hit that with our squirrel streaming a little bit later if you like.
I love Micronauts. I actually had the 1970s Biotron. We can talk about that, not on this show, but on the squirrel. Yeah, we
in
can
about
talk
an hour.
About that.
Yeah, we can kick tire on that. But yeah,
I just for Daisy and JT, the TOS fans. Okay, I just want to bring up something that is audio. Okay, audio. This episode, I like this episode much more than the previous episode. Okay, but it was way too Star Trek, especially when with the music. When things are getting heavy, we got the woodwinds during the testimonial tape of Buck's friend, Jem Peterson. And the music is such an absolute ripoff of the deep emotional moments in TOS.
Yeah, and I loved every second of it.
Oh, you actually liked?
Well, I knew it was a ripoff. I was like, yeah.
You knew it was a ripoff, yeah.
You liked
this. Okay. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, I was a little annoyed because we've had some good original music in Buck. Don't get me on the disco again, but
I love the disco.
Don't you start. But the thing is that it was just so JT and Daisy, the allusion to not illusion but allusion to the Star Trek music was so bloody obvious to anyone who's.
And hello, Jerry Mendoza. Good to see you tonight, Jerry. Welcome in.
Hey, Jerry.
Also,
Bucky has to leave.
Sorry.
I'm going to be at the Squirrel stream, so we will.
Oh, nutty-o, Bucks. Nutty-o.
Bye, Bucky.
Hopefully she'll be back. But yeah, all right. Get those kids. Yes, Daisy.
So, along the lines of music, for the first season, I had lots of notes in my notes about music. And this season, it's been very meh. I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be in the background and all that, but it's not. We discussed that music is very important in things. Dadman and I did on Wednesday about how important music is in movies and soundtracks. And they're not doing anything. I mean, unless you get the member berries from an entirely different series that was done better. Yes, but it's not helping these episodes. And at least in season 1, even when we found the music, like, what were they thinking? At least they tried things. They did interesting things with the music. They did interesting things in the intro, right at the end of the opening song. They'll change the music slightly. They're still doing that, but it's so generic. It's just a big orchestra. Like this one opened with a few very nice timpani sounds because it's supposed to be military, but it's just not memorable at all.
No, I have noticed that too with the music. But you know what? Why do they do it? Who knows? It just makes no sense. The music can be very effective, and it's something I've not seen. I've not noticed, but I think that's an excellent point that you make there because, like you said, we have talked about that. And then Battlestar Galactica was a TV show series, and its
Mm-hmm.
sound, its music, its scoring really, really, to me, helped make that show. It was almost like a theatrical movie because of the quality of the sound system.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Damn it, Jim! I forgot my profession.
Nice one.
All right. So, what other notes? What other thoughts y'all have on this one before we?
Yeah.
Oh, tons.
So
Yes, go ahead.
May I go? Hungry, would you like to go?
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay. So, there are other shows out there, the 100, which is far, far, far newer by about 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Had in one of their later seasons, they had oases where nuclear war did not touch specific zones on planets. And so having some, I guess, golden zones, I guess you could call them, and Mount Rushmore being inside of that didn't really bother me. The stock picture of Mount Rushmore did.
Yes.
Yeah.
The main issue that I had with this was, if you're going to write a court drama, get your court pieces right. I mean, they have how many bloody attorneys that work at the network? You can't get one to help you out in editing. The problem I had with this is they try to arrest this guy on war crimes. Now, I don't want to say that phrase too much for the algorithm, but the bad things that they wanted to get him on, well, maybe I missed it, but I thought the only piece of evidence they had that he did anything was some guy's testimony on a Betamax from 500 years ago, right before he was going to meet his end.
And who also was suffering radioactive sickness, radiation sickness. I mean, the guy was not in his right
wounds.
head.
He had wounds on his face.
And they showed in the background the entire city had been destroyed. This guy was not in his right head. He was not in his right head.
So, exactly. And so I'm sitting here going, we have a problem from the very beginning, because no prosecutor that would be in that position would be seeking to come after Buck for this based on 500-year-old single source testimony with no ability to corroborate in a questionable timeline. So that right there, I was like, okay, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a licensed attorney, but I know you have to have more than that coming to the table. So then later on, when they want to go TOS courts martial with, the computer that will say incorrect. I
love that. I love that.
When they hook him up to this machine, it's almost like he agreed to have to prove his own innocence. And I thought that was an incorrect position to put Buck in. I know they were trying to get him into the chair and hook him up to that machine somehow, but I didn't really ever see his representation, his legal representation. And if he had any, they would have said, hell no, are you ever getting hooked up to that?
But see, I wonder if it was more for his integrity, his cleanliness, that he's like, I got nothing to hide, I'll just do it, that he, it's more.
Yeah, but
no attorney would ever tell you to.
Yeah, his attorney would have told him no.
But I don't think he had an attorney, though.
He didn't.
But they offered him in the script. It is directly stated. They offered him defense counsel. Why did
then he doesn't
happen?
say yes. Yes, he doesn't say yes, I'll take it, or no, I'll defend myself. Yep. He doesn't say anything when they say that.
Stunning. Good to see you.
So he should have had. He should have had. I thought that someone on the ship was going to take.
They should have brought back Dr.
like
Theopolis
Asimov or Dr. Theopolis. Yes.
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Yep.
And Theopolis had defended Buck earlier, and successfully. So honestly, they missed an opportunity here. They probably didn't have the budget for the voice actor who was already doing Crichton. They probably didn't have the budget to bring back other things. And it just, I'm agreeing with you, Daisy, and I'm agreeing with you, JT. It just seemed a little bit sloppy. Like, you set up a premise, you must follow the premise. If the premise is a court drama and you bring up the opportunity to have a defense counsel, it's called Chekhov's gun. If you show a gun in Act 1, you have to have the gun be important in Act 3 in some way.
Right.
And they did not do that.
Nope.
Yeah, and where's the JAG? He's sitting here in a military court. Where's his JAG?
But again, we're getting away from what this series set up in the first season again, because back then we saw Buck was being tried by the computer heads.
I just have to say,
that's what we said. Yeah,
Dadman, because you love the military, Judge Advocate General.
Right.
That's what JAG means.
Oh yeah, I know that. It just
but some of the people in the chat might not know.
But it just still keeps getting me is they walk in here having an immediate trial. I don't understand why they didn't take them back, because the whole thing was the computers were so smart and they were supposed to take out any human bias and stuff.
Right.
And this season we the second time of now the first one I understand with Hawk. Remember that happened deeper in space.
Yeah, but they still had an actual tribunal with the 3 judges were on a screen. They weren't in the room.
Yeah. Okay.
So why could you not put the the computer, the little round head computer dudes back? Theopolis and his people. Why couldn't you have them on a screen?
Which would have been visually more interesting as well, and sci-fi.
Yes.
Because they brought out the white wigged rip off of the British Empire.
Yeah.
They were like
British court.
Yeah.
Good one.
Do they still wear those wigs in Australia?
I don't want to answer that.
They wear all kind of wigs.
They do in Canada. They do in Canada.
They do in England too.
It honestly depends on what trial is going on and for what reason.
So does that mean every court in Australia is a kangaroo court?
Oh.
Lemon pie. Hello, Citrus.
Hello, Citrus.
Good diversion there. Good diversion there.
Yes, that was.
Yeah, Daisy. What? What did you say?
My ears.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I had to sing in choir. We didn't use the microphone.
I loved it. You have a beautiful voice. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm thinking I can't get to my headphones to pull them away from my ears.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. You have a beautiful voice, though. That was very nice. Well done.
We're used to just doing it randomly on the squirrel streams or other chats.
I gotcha.
People come in. They have their own theme songs.
That's okay. On Wednesday, I was singing.
Yes, you were, and you need to sing more. You had yes, you had a beautiful voice.
Back to this episode.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, where do y'all? Who else has notes? What other notes do y'all have?
So I guess what I was trying to say with here on the back half of this is when he has to try to prove his own innocence on this, I'm like, okay, this is backwards, but the human mind is imperfect. And I don't care how nice of a machine you have, you will never get that type of, unless you're someone with the rarest of like eidetic memory or some super duper recording memory, you are not going to get that type of conversation kept. And Buck is not one of those types of people. So no, he's just not. Like
he's just not. Yes.
I agree.
Dr. House or House MD had an episode where somebody had this type of memory and they did not function well. Anyway, the thing of this is he could pretty much remember things however he wanted, and this machine would just report it. So I was like, okay, well, he's an unreliable narrator in his own defense, and they're just going to go with it. I did not like that. And then the way that he got out of it with the hypnosis, I did didn't.
That was such a 70s. Okay, so yes, because some of this has to do with the time and the Cold War and the US and the USSR and spycraft and all of those kinds of things. Like when he was whipped out that tiny little camera and was taking the pictures of the codes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very it was very James Bond back in the 60s. Yeah.
It was 1968. Yes. My uncle had that damn camera in 1968.
I know. They were these tiny little things. So, I know. Sorry, I lost my chain of thought.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I was thinking about the little cameras. Was funny. No, okay. So the time period. So in the late 70s and early 80s, we still had this Cold War going on, and back in the 70s, when some of these ideas might have percolated to life in these writers who didn't know what they were doing. In the 70s, they had things where both sides were trying to do remote viewing and it's ESP and studies of the mind and meditation, and all of those things were very 70s. And so I think they were doing the whole, oh yes, we can hypnotize you into remembering something that didn't really happen, and those kinds of things, which they can't do, but
that's an excellent point, Daisy, because the public at the time was aware of it, and we're old, so we know they were aware.
This is true, yes. And people might have actually thought, oh, well, yeah, you could be hypnotized to believe something that didn't happen and then remember it that way. But it's still silly. I mean, if you know anything about it, even back then, if you knew anything about it, you were going, no, that's not how it works.
Right.
But the whole court thing was wrong. You're absolutely right. That's not how this would go.
No. I did have a question for the panel. I didn't have time to go back and research it, but did they reuse footage from the season premiere with Hawk's ship going after the starfighter?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I thought that was recycled footage.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. Hey, why not? It's the same thing.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying it was bad. I looked at it and go.
It was cool to get to see it, though. To see the Falcon.
I like to see the ship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Hawk.
It is a beautiful ship. I like the Falcon ship.
That brings us up to a moment in this episode, and bear in mind, I'm going to be generous to this episode. Okay, so we have Buck. We have Buck.
Breathe.
Being chased in the Earth atmosphere. Okay, and we have the people from the tribunal setting out another guy in another starfighter to chase them down, and he's got this wonderful, beautiful improved graphics on his screen compared to season 1.
True.
With Buck's outfit, with Buck's vehicle
targeting
vehicle.
Yep.
But
there you go, vehicle.
But at the bottom of the screen, it actually says high score.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
I didn't see it. I knew it looked like a computer game targeting system. It did.
High score.
Oh my God.
Well, it was different. I did not remember that targeting screen in the first season.
No, it was much better this time.
Yeah.
Welcome to Defender. And Daisy knows what I mean. Welcome to Defender. High score.
Oh my God. Did they get you put their initials in it? Because back then you could only put 3 initials.
I know. I had my 3 initials. I got up to 495,000. That was as far as I got. But no, I mean, seriously, high score. I mean, dude.
Oh dear.
Glenn.
I didn't see that. You know what's funny is because I believe I heard Wilma say, Buck said we're being followed. And I thought I heard Wilma say, that's my ship.
Yeah.
Well,
and I don't remember her ship having a high score game when targeting.
But Hungry, look, Game of Thrones had the Starbucks cups and all in it, and that's a more modern.
Water bottles.
Yeah, so who cares about this poor the 70s? Pick on them.
But JT, did you notice a high score at the bottom of that
I
screen?
did not. I was.
I'm going to go back and
already
look, though.
point.
I know, but I tell you what, I will tell you what got my attention and that made me rewind it too was, tell you what, Wilma put a big lip lock on Buck Rogers in that one. That was.
Oh, I
not
thought
just
we were
a-
saving that for the end, man.
I'm going now with that because you brought it up here with this. It's like I can't hold back. It's like you got freaked out by seeing high score. I'm like, did she just do what? And I just had to rewind. Like,
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
I rewound it twice, dude.
We've been waiting 2 seasons for that,
and it was just thrown away. Like, and that wasn't like just a little congratulations smooch. That was like a.
Oh no! No! That was not congratulations. That was seriously like 1940s film noir smooch between the female hero and the male hero. That was a serious
Exactly.
smooch.
JT, Daisy, did y'all have any thoughts? Did y'all notice that too?
I
Well,
did.
it could have been.
Go ahead.
It could have been a congratulations, and is in congratulations. I'm yours, Buck.
There you go. Okay, I can take that.
I was waiting for him to say it's not the best kiss I've ever had in a spaceship.
Oh.
Oh.
But hey, jeez.
Hey, JT, she says I love you. He says I know.
I know.
I mean, that to me just answered the whole thing. Is like is that okay? We got our answer. They are a thing, even though they don't officially say it or want to acknowledge it. Because that was like, what the heck did I just see? I'm like, and they did cover her up in this episode. I mean, she had the. And
the outfits.
She had more militaristic type of appearance. Go ahead.
So in the last one, so it started on the real ship. She had the funky little skirt one, but it's not as low cut in the front as it used to be.
Right.
And then when she was fake Wilma, she wore a jumpsuit, which I thought was very pretty on her. I don't like the white on her. It's not the best color. But that one was very pretty. And then in this one, she changed it again, which was kind of a skirt with leggings that were all lycra. But they're not as low cut as they were in the first few episodes of this season.
And also, in the previous episode, we had that delightful brown outfit.
Yes.
But there was a little hint in this episode, just a tiny bit of my favorite outfit, the raspberry outfit.
Raspberry beret.
Oh, no.
The one
Oh, no.
Store.
All right.
But I mean, we had a little hint of the classic Wilma in both episodes, and in terms of the costume, and I really appreciated that. And also, I thought that the smoocherama in this episode, smoocherama. I honestly think it was both Aaron Gray and Gil Gerard kind of recognizing that the show is going to end and knowing everything that we wanted to see between them. And they know they're not going to get a third season because we know there's only one episode left. And so they just thought, screw it. We're going for it. We're going to give the fans what they want for a brief 2 seconds.
Which was probably at the end of the last one when I think he was saying, they were saying, oh, well, how was she acting? And he was like kind and nice and all that. And I think he made that line up. That could also be a part of, hey, the season's ending and we've worked very hard all together. So let's just do our own thing.
100%.
I agree. I would like to ask them. That'd be a good question to ask at a fan conference or something. Is to ask them, was this impromptu? Did y'all just do this or what? Because it just seemed out of nowhere, just like boom. And
it did not seem out of nowhere to me, but I want to hear what JT has to say.
No, to me, it did because all they've ever done is hug, or she looks at him longingly and gives some certain.
Oh, they flirted, man! Like, come on.
No, they did, but they never went physical like this. This was like no hesitation. Like, boom.
Get physical.
Physical.
This was
I
like, no
want to
doubt,
get
get a hotel room.
physical. Let's get into physical. I can't sing that high.
No, you did that very well. You did that.
No,
Daisy,
very
you
well.
JT was
gotta get on
doing better.
No, Daisy, you karaoke.
JT, tell us about the kiss. What did you think about the kiss?
The kiss.
Yeah, about the kiss.
Butt kiss. All right.
Give me the kiss, JT.
Are you using the voice from Dune?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I can't even follow that.
Never mind. Tell us about the kiss.
I'm completely undone now.
Thank you, Hungry.
I knew the show was ending, so I thought it was just kind of fun, I guess, for that to happen. But I mean, too little, too late. Maybe they thought if they did that, they could work their way into a season 3 at the last minute if everybody was, talking about it at the water cooler. Maybe. But that's it. I mean, that kiss though reminds me of another sci-fi court show, Boston Legal. Starring, Bill Shatner.
No, okay, before
This
you
is
go
what
into
Captain Kirk did when he retired.
Yes.
Before you go into that, I just got to ask you, JT. All right, you've gone through so many episodes of Buck thus far. Were you at least in some way romantically, emotionally gratified that she planted that big old wet one on Buck's face?
Sure.
Good.
Sure. I hope, in the one episode remaining that we see it turn into something. Otherwise,
but we don't know what order. We don't know what order they were filmed in, JT. I mean, this could have been the last thing they filmed, rather
Sadly not,
Nope.
Daisy. No, the last episode we're going to see, sadly, was the last episode televised.
Yep.
No, I know that, but I meant the order in which they were filmed.
Okay. All right. Right. Okay.
So
See,
we don't know.
See, Star Plays Wolverine says, I think it was an off-script send-off by them because we got one more episode after this. So, and
maybe they saw that last episode and didn't like it, and so they did this anyway.
I haven't seen the last episode, so I don't know what happens.
I read a description of it. I don't think they probably would have had an opportunity. I think this was a good.
This was it, huh?
To do it. So but I agree. All right. Any other notes or thoughts we got? Or we?
Oh hell yeah!
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Dang,
Can I say something about right at the end about Tweaky? Right at the end, he said he had robotic intuition. And they asked him what that was, and he said, it's kind of like feminine intuition, only more mechanical.
I was like, so what does that mean? Still? I'm still wondering what that means.
I'm not sure what that means, but it was funny.
It was cute. It was honestly very cute.
I assume it had something to do with Tweaky is voiced by a male. And so males are considered more into mathematics and science and mechanical things like Tweaky is. Whereas feminine girls are more intuitive and in touch with our feelings and theoretically get good grades in English except for me.
Good night, Mr.
So I think it was a play on him being mechanical, and the guys who wrote it thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I agree.
Nope. Okay.
Go ahead, Hungry.
I thought he was going to say, but more mechanical if I only had a heart.
See, I'm not laughing because that is so funny. It hurts, JT.
That would have been good. We should have been a writer.
No, honestly, I equate that joke, JT, to one of my favorite comedy movies, Murder by Death in 1976. That is
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah, it's got Truman Capote in it. It's great. and it's got it's got so many great people. It's Peter Falk is in it.
Yes.
James Coco is in it. But I'll talk about that when we go into squirreling. Okay, we got to stay on topic here. But I just want to say,
I have nothing left on this episode, so it's up to what you guys want to say. So, because I mean, I've pretty much said what I had to do with it. Say, you guys are the experts. Your notes are just incredible, and this shows the things that y'all are picking up. So,
you're very generous. Thank you.
Oh, y'all are okay. Well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, JT or Daisy, do you want to go on, or do you want me to?
Well, Hungry, you take a little bit. I think give them a chance to shake their notes.
You go for it.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, you guys know, because we've been here a while together now, that I don't like it when a sci-fi show goes non-sci-fi. Okay? I don't like Star Trek episodes where they go back to the 1940s in America, or they go back to the gangster era. That really bugs me. And there's not a lot of sci-fi here. But the script, I felt, was one of the better ones in season 2. And it's going to sound like a joke, but it's not. When we go to the bunker with the presidential bunker, it was absolutely wonderful to see an amber glass ashtray in the president's bunker. And the whole place had a feel like where Teddy Roosevelt would be comfortable living in. And
the chandeliers with the glass at the bottom, and then the pretend candles with the light bulbs.
Yes.
And the desk. Was that desk supposed to be Kennedy? The desk Kennedy used?
It felt like it.
It looked a lot like that one.
It really felt like it. So, I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed that because I thought there was a little bit extra effort put into it. And the other thing, and JT is going to know what I mean, and Dadman's going to know what I mean, and I think you'll probably know what I mean. We know Glenn rips off a lot of stuff, okay? And
you don't say.
I hadn't noticed.
But this was not so much a Buck Rogers episode as it was a $6 Million Man episode with a lot of sci-fi accoutrement thrown in. But in the buffet of Larson ripoffs, there was a nice brownie from the dessert table in regards to how it was being played off. And I have to say, I kept expecting someone to refer to Buck as Colonel Steve Austin, but I was totally happy going along for the ride. You know what I mean? Because yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what Star Blazing was talking about the non-sci-fi sci-fi's Deep Space Nine was bad. I have many non-sci-fi. And hello, Tina, the Naughty Dragon. Well, guess what?
Tina.
Might be a little bit drunk, so let it fly. And we're actually going to have another stream after this stream. We're going to do another late night squirrel stream after we wind up right now with Buck Rogers. But thank you for coming in and saying hi and spending some time with us. So
I just want to conclude with the notion that sometimes, for the sake of the enjoyment of the audience, you can leave out some of the sci-fi and put in something else that is equally good, particularly if it is a balance against you don't know how to do sci-fi, so you better choose something else. And Daisy knows what I mean. And so does JT. Because the final note is, I really loved how Gil Gerard and Aaron Gray as Buck and Wilma were allowed to show their respect and affection to each other in this episode, which was all throughout the episode. Wilma never doubted Buck for a second. Never. And Buck never doubted Wilma's faith in him.
Nope.
And that was beautiful. That was wonderful and beautiful. And that's the way real friendships should work.
Exactly. Yeah. Not fake, not for convenience, just they're there.
I would also say that in certain scenes, they seem to do a bit better with the set design. So in addition to the president's chamber being in Mount Rushmore and it being oval. It wasn't a square room.
Good catch.
It had a rounded carpet, and the walls were not done well, but they were trying to give the effect of the quote unquote Oval Office. That set, they spent a lot of time on that set. And then as a quick thing, they went into Dr. Goodfellow's lab. And if you noticed, to his right on the table was a round maze. And at first I was trying to figure out what was moving in it. Right. It looked like a mouse maze. Now, I don't know why he had it, but it was a real little mouse because you could see it at the end and it's popped its little head up and it was moving about. So, and I realized, okay, so that's a non sequitur. Why do you have it? But at least it wasn't a blank table in his lab with nothing on it. So in some of the scenes, the courtroom scene was silly because they obviously just brought in chairs from the office, and then they had the tablecloth hadn't even been ironed. You could see all of the. So that one was terrible. And then you go to these other sets that have like the one that the Oval Office one was beautiful.
Yes.
So it was like, okay, there were some people that were working their little hearts out right here at the end who also probably knew, hey, this is over. So let's just give it our best shot.
Right. I agree with you 100%. And I mean, the amount of effort that was given to the end of this episode supersedes all the deficiencies at the beginning of the episode, if you know what I mean. And I think that's important. I mean, if you can pull it off at the end, because my main complaint is you're doing great for 2/3 of an episode or a movie, and then at the end, you can't pull it off. You can't stick the landing. But they stuck the landing. And I don't care that it was not primarily science fiction. I don't care that it was primarily Manchurian Candidate. I cared about the fact that we have a Bucks episode we don't have to complain about that much.
No, agreed.
Right.
Agreed. So the implanted memory or the repressed memory is not a sci-fi concept then.
Oh no! Oh God, no!
No.
All right.
And I also just want to add, there is the ongoing relationships between all the characters. I mentioned Buck and Wilma beforehand, but the Admiral showed respect for Buck. Other people showed respect for Buck, and Buck was showing respect to them in return. And I thought the empathy level in this episode was very high. And you know what I mean, Daisy, because that's a big problem with what you have done professionally. You know that you're dealing with a room full of 20 people. If 10 of them got no empathy, they're going to be problems. You know what I mean? And I thought the empathy level in this episode was appropriate to the script. And that was a beautiful thing to see.
Well, yeah, at one point, Tweaky comes in and says that he has a petition signed by every single person on the crew because they had worked with this man. And it's very difficult to, believe his character. If you've worked with him and his character is not that of a traitor who would start a war and nuke the whole planet.
Agreed. Now, can I make, before we finish off, can I make one little joke that'll make you and JT laugh? Okay. So apparently, park rangers haven't altered their uniforms in 500 years.
Nope.
They have not.
True. And that petition was written on a scrolled piece of paper when we do electronic signatures nowadays.
I know. But I mean, the park ranger, that just killed me.
Yeah.
He came right out. He just came right out like, hi.
Oh, and that set was awful. the blue sky. They painted the wall blue behind him and went, "Then we're done."
That's why I said I had a problem when he just walked out like, "Hi, the whole world's destroyed," but he's in the middle of nowhere, perfectly fine and natural. And then, of course, the bunker you walk into, the flag, it looks like it's not 3 days out of a Walmart.
Well, when he's not in there waiting for people, he's the maid too. He goes in and dusts and vacuums the floor.
Yeah, I forgot. He's got that super maid stuff on to keep it all from going crazy. Yeah, from falling apart. So, yeah, I gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, oh my goodness. All right.
It's sad. It's getting to be a little bit bittersweet going into the last episode here.
So.
Yeah, it is.
But it'll be fun to talk about the good stuff that we had. It will be good to go back over stuff and to talk about all the good stuff, from season 1 and even some of the good stuff in season 2. I've actually grown to like Hawk a little bit, which is
I love the actor.
Me, yeah, which really has surprised me that that would have happened. But hey, so all right. Any other thoughts before we grade this one and close up?
No, sir.
Ranger Smith, where's Yogi? All right. Hungry Boy, I'm going to have you start this time. Where do you grade this episode on your scale?
I think he's. I think
I
he
caught
muted.
Him I know. I think I caught him. I'm going to make him go first one day. Well, Daisy, would you like to share where you would grade this first?
This one was also difficult. I think it had a lot that could have been going for it. And there were individual things about it that I did like. I thought the actors were giving it their all, and some of the set design was actually gorgeous. So, for those things, I would give it a B.
Okay.
However, the memory things and it's just it pulled me out. So that made that, in that part of my mind, it was a D. It pulled me out and it wasn't sci-fi and I couldn't stay focused on it. So I guess I'd have to give it a C because that's right between the B and the D.
Okay. JT.
Let's see. As a court procedural, it was definitely one gavel out of 6.
Boston
wow.
Legal. Boston Legal.
Wow.
Boston Legal. Yes.
Yeah, I would give this episode overall probably about 5 Denny Cranes out of 7.
Ah!
Well, that's probably pretty good then.
Yeah. The kiss added a whole Denny Crane.
Oh,
yes, it did.
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
boyo. Oh yeah.
All right.
So.
Hungry. How about you?
Well, all things considered and everything that we spoke about today, I give it a 7.5 Tweakies out of 10, which is very close to JT's score. And there are a lot of reasons for that. We've already mentioned them. But I thought that for a rare occasion, the heart of the intent of the episode matched the script. And it would have been a 10 out of 10 if we had more science fiction in it. But no, there wasn't. There was very little science fiction in this script. But I can give a 7.5.
Okay. Well, see, this one,
No pew pew for you.
None.
No, but I'm kind of, the grade on this one's kind of held hostage with the grade on the previous one, where I gave
there
it
was
a
nuclear
3.
pew pew.
Yeah.
We saw Hawk's ship.
That's good. Hawk's ship was a good one. I still think I would go 3. I think 3 big popcorn buckets and a small bag of popcorn to go with it, just with a little extra butter. It's a little bit better than the other one, but still not up in the B range. It's still, it had concepts. It had a general framework that could have been so much better. But it's to me, it's the Ranger effect. It's the presidential area effect. It's those type of things really dragged it back down for me.
Oh,
I
really?
Yes, I did. I just after 500 years, I'm just and then a ranger just happens to be there. Hi, like he's got people coming by all the time. So it was just like it reminded me of Moranis coming out of the door every time down in Ghostbusters. Hi, you know, like about. But it was good, but it just tell me have it just it lost it's it had great content. Both these episodes could have been so much better with better writing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is that these are two really of what could have been with a better writing and really add go into those concepts a little bit more. But hey, better than what Blue Little Smurf guys and maniacal little crazy small
God,
generals.
I
So
hate that app. I hate that app. Don't you just mentioned my two least favorite eps. Even I would rather watch the Gary Oldman ep 3 times over than watch those two again.
yeah.
Ugh.
Well, hey,
What is it about blue guys in this series?
I don't know, but see, Tina, this would have been the episode for Tina to have the blue guys running around with
Yeah.
a party like you've had tonight. So don't pass out on us. Come back with us in a little bit later when we do do another wild party. But hey, um, any final thoughts though with this show? I mean, we graded them. We know where it fell short, but it was pleasing. It was not a week of just garbage.
Right.
So
True.
and these two were probably, even though not the best, were probably some of the better episodes of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Any other thoughts, guys?
Nope.
All
Nope.
right.
I
Well, yeah,
I
go
am
ahead,
just
JT.
really hoping that they've set up for the end of this to be something special. And
Yeah.
if they didn't, I'm going to be frustrated and permanently disappointed, I guess, with the show. So,
Yeah, in the future, you could just watch this episode as the last episode because then it ends with her kissing him.
I honestly, Daisy, I wish that had been the case. I've watched every episode of season 2 from when I was a kid and then when I was in my 20s. And I'm just going to say the last episode is not bad, but you have to bear in mind it wasn't written anticipating it being the finale of the series. That's all I'm going to
Okay.
say.
I thought it was that it's because you're Australian, but hey, it's okay. That works. Hey, I'm hugging you, okay? It's Hugging Australian Day.
I know
All right.
you are.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to say here we next week. Speaking of, is the episode 2.13, the final, and we will actually have Dave C with us too.
Good.
The Dorian Secret. It'll be all 5 of us. We're going to talk about this episode. Then we're going to talk about the look back over it fondly and not so fondly at times of what we had in the past. So. All right. I do want to announce one or two things. Oh, that's the wrong one there, because I got different formats. I don't know what happened. I saved it differently, but I do want to tell you. Actually, I'll bring up this one. Oh crap! You know, don't you hate it when you open up a screen and it opens on the wrong window?
Oh,
Yes.
And that just happened. And give me a second before I nuke my computer.
Streaming is hard, people.
Yeah, things don't go.
It's harder than it looks.
Yes. Hey, tomorrow at 11 a.m., I'm going with the missus to watch Alien for the first time ever. I've never seen it. I think she has. I've never seen it. We'll be in the big screen, and we're going to come back tomorrow and talk about Alien tomorrow night at 7. So hopefully you guys, everybody, you like your sci-fi, you love this classic movie, feel free, come hang out with us tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, and let's have some fun with this one. So
just go in with no expectations.
That's
go
what
in with a blank mind.
Yeah.
I am going in with nothing. I'm going to block out Aliens for sure. I'm going
please.
to go in. I'm going in to just blank slate, like SpongeBob, fine dining and breathing.
Ah, you had to do SpongeBob. Damn it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Well, then he was asked what is his name, and all fires broke out. He couldn't remember his name. That's kind of
yeah. But I mean, the thing is, you have to understand when you're viewing this film, you have to look at it from the audience of 1979 who had never seen anything like it. Anything like it.
So
Absolutely.
yes, and we can kick the tire on that a little bit longer. But hey, to join us for that, we're going to let Daisy go, and we'll see who shows up a little bit later. We're going to have some fun with Hungry. And like Hungry, you're Australian. Your name is Bruce, like the
That
shark
is
from
very
Nemo.
clever on Tina's part because that's an in joke. Because there is an Australian film called My Name is Bruce. And that is a very funny joke, Tina, and I admire you for making it.
Not Bruce Almighty. Not Bruce
No.
Almighty.
No.
Not the Bruce the shark from Nemo.
No.
Okay. And as Star Blazing Wolverine says, see you at the squirrel tree in a few, guys. Thank y'all for coming in here. We've gotten over 20 likes tonight, so thank y'all for coming in and supporting us.
Thank you.
We appreciate the support on a Friday night. Yeah,
Love
hope
to
to
see
see y'all
everybody.
out. Exactly, and share it out that we're going to go live in a few more minutes. So, yeah, and exactly, we can touch on this one a little bit. And yes, the Mrs. Bucky mentioned that other. Mrs. says today is Hugging Australian Day. Consider yourself hugged, Hungry.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. I take the hug and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
And the Monty Python Bruce sketch. But hey, we can further that on in a few minutes. Join us probably. I'm going to push it about 20 minutes to 11:45, and we will see y'all next time. But make sure you join us next Friday night as we conclude our look at Buck Rogers, the television series. Buck Rogers in the 25th season television series with my great friends Daisy Blossom, JT Kirk, Hungry for Dadman's Alien Review. I thought that said Alan and Dave C. So y'all have a good 20 minutes. We'll see you later. Bye, all.
Pity you.
Sweet
you
dreams.
didn't pass the test.
I didn't do what?
You didn't pass the test. I pity
The world denies you.
you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.